Oh, wow. There we go. Now we're all set. Get myself looking good. I am going to shave and shower here in a moment. But yeah, let's do this here. I'm Wacko Bob. Welcome to my little wingding here. I'm going to give you here on YouTube. I haven't done anything here on YouTube for a while, or even on Facebook Live, and a lot of reasons why that's going on. As I am still trying to get things going here. I am getting a whole new hard drive that's going to have twice the space that I had before. You know, it's so it's going to be good. My computer's getting fixed, and that's going to be a plus here. But I do want to talk a little bit more about some of the things going on, because I've been receiving a lot of Twitters lately about what is going on in WWE, and I do want to talk a little bit about it, because I do want to let people know I really haven't watched wrestling in a while. I've given up totally on TNA. TNA can't figure things out. Even with Jeff Jarrett and them back, you know, they could do whatever they want to. They could do this whole thing of a merger with Global Force and TNA, and I really don't care at this point. TNA, I've given to TNA, what, 15 years now, and they really haven't gotten it right. And the closest they ever come to having it right was back in 2009, after Jeff Jarrett was gone and you got rid of Dutch Mantel, and you started to see more and more of Vince Russo's fingerprints on it. As hard as it is for people to believe there, people have been, that was the right time. Between that time, from I'll say from the summer of 2009 till maybe the time Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff were coming in. To me, those were starting to be the best times for TNA, and that's all I'm going to say there about TNA. When they changed that up and had to go the Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff way, and Vince Russo still trying to write it, it didn't work. And that to me was going to be, when you really weren't learning from that and trying to get back into it the way it was, that really was starting which to me was getting the best response. It just shows you what's going on. And even with the new people running TNA, you look what you got going on with the Hardys. You don't even have Broken Matt Hardy, the final deletion. You don't have that going on. That was the only thing that was really getting TNA any real positive talk. But with that being said, let's move on. Let's move forward here. WWE is what this is all about. And a lot of people are asking me about, are giving me questions leading up to WrestleMania. I am going to get WrestleMania, just so people know, I am going to get WrestleMania. It is going to be a 1 month deal for me. I will watch WrestleMania on the WWE network, and I'm not paying for 3 months. I'm only paying for 1, only to check things out, because I do want to be able to give my wrestling fans something to look forward to. The only wrestling I really watch is WWE, and it's really only happens on YouTube, really, when I just get to see the best ofs or cut to the chase, because honestly, that's how bad things have been with wrestling for me. I mean, I really cannot watch wrestling the way it is. And again, what's it worth? What's it worth? People have been giving me the told you so's and whatnot, and I just, again, not going for it. The first thing I was asked was about, see, we told you we're going to see Brock Lesnar versus Bill Goldberg at WrestleMania again, and this time around, it's going to be the final. It's going to be the final one. It's going to be the rubber match, the curtain call. People have been calling it that, and people have been asking me, do I think Brock Lesnar wins? The answer is yes, I do. You got the real temporary part-time guy going up against the part-time guy, and this is another reason why I have a tough time with WWE the way it is. And that's going to get a lot of talk. And this takes away from a lot of your current talent that you do have. This takes a lot away. So, I got a lot to say where this one goes, and there's a lot that can be said. where this goes. But I'm going to let time flow with that one, because it's just a lot of it that's going to be said is ultimately going to be repetitive. I do think you do see the final match, and I think that there's going to be a lot of thought put into this match to make it a good match, not to make it a Bill Goldberg quickie or we're in the ring. What should we do? We don't have anything together type of thing. We're not going to see that. That's another thing that happened, of course, with WrestleMania 20. So again, that's all the only real benefit that I think is going to come out of Brock Lesnar and Bill Goldberg. The other one is, well, Bob, you're going to get your wish. It's looking more and more like Roman Reigns is going to become a heel. It's about time. I think Roman Reigns is the most screwed over wrestler in WWE. And it's not his fault. When the dirt sheet writers decided to come down on him, so did the IWC. And the IWC, which, like the dirt sheet writers, are up here with nothing, really just came down on the wrong person. And, I just really think that you really took away from the one guy who, in the best possible scenario, is the best one to possibly kick everyone's butt on the WWE roster, both full-time and part-time, every single one of them that you got on the Raw roster, the SmackDown roster. You're never going to find anyone like that again on your roster that you could do that with. And I think people needed to do that. But WWE also needed to run with it and turn Roman Reigns heel earlier. I think turning him heel now could really help him out. Just like when they turned Edge heel. Because Edge was getting more boos than cheers as a babyface. So they made him heel, and Edge was very, very successful with it. Then when he was finally catching on and people remember Edge the way they used to, they wanted to see the babyface Edge. And they got to see that, and they were cheering for Edge. Edge is probably one of those wrestlers that you say never got to live up to his potential. Because I'll tell you this right now, from the time he returned till maybe I would say 2012, maybe 2013, you could throw that in there. You could have built that entire company around Edge. He was the guy to build around. That's how I feel about this whole thing here. The rumor is that and this is where Brock and Bill Goldberg come into play. That rumor is that Brock is eventually going to go babyface and have issues with Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman's going to really turn on him for Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns, of course, people are giving me the thing there. Roman Reigns is going to face the Undertaker, and I kept saying it. You've already had the Undertaker beat at WrestleMania. If you really want to give something to Roman Reigns, have him be the one who retires the Undertaker. I would have Roman Reigns get him with a spear, do everything you got to do with him to get him over. To get him over, and that way when WrestleMania happens, you can see him leaving Undertaker laying instead of looking at his win-loss record for WrestleMania. Have Roman Reigns do that. It's time. It's time for Taker to retire, and it's time to put the right guy over through him, which to me is Roman Reigns. So, and if you turn Roman Reigns heel, it's a good thing. Because I think he'll get over that way. I think he'll... Wow. Nothing is working out for me today. I think, you'll get what you want out of Roman Reigns. So, go with that. The other thing is, that, again, I'm going through everything here. Roman Reigns, I think you really could do something with. Another one says to me, are the McMahons going too far with their involvement with WrestleMania? Yes, they are. I think that's another reason to lose interest. Now you're going to have AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon. You're going to do that whole thing? That stinks. It really does. AJ Styles, again, is one of your better wrestlers. And to me, an AJ Styles Randy Orton, or an AJ Styles John Cena, or even an AJ Styles Bray Wyatt, I think is going to make more money for you. So, I mean, you got to look at that scenario. I mean, it's just not happening. Even AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose. If this were still the TV 14 era of WWE, you could have had a long-term program of AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose. You wouldn't have even needed either one of them to be champion. That's how it is. The other thing is, and a lot of people have been saying it, and I just went to AJ Styles there, of course, with Shane McMahon, is that I don't really want to see the McMahons anymore. I think people are tired of the McMahons. We're starting to see the whole thing on Raw with how the Authority was and what was going on there. And what they're doing with Mick Foley again, and you're starting to see who's the commissioner, who's the general manager, and who's in charge, who's going to do what. Triple H is showing up, and Stephanie and Triple H, doing their thing again. And I particularly don't want to see Triple H wrestle again. I really don't. I think Triple H, if he were still the wrestler and not the COO, then I think you would see a whole reinvented Triple H. But I think what we're seeing right now with all of this, I don't like what I'm seeing. I really don't. And to be honest with you, are we going to wind up seeing Triple H versus Mick Foley? Are we going to see that instead of a Triple H versus Seth Rollins, where Seth Rollins gets put over? What are we going to see? That's the other thing to really look at. So, again, reasons why I have a tough time with WWE, let alone wrestling. So, I mean, those are some of the things there. All in all, do I think WrestleMania could turn into something? Yes, I do. I think it can. I think WrestleMania sells itself. As long as Stephanie McMahon and Triple H and Shane and Vince, Kevin Dunn, whoever else is going to be running things, don't try too hard. You can make great matches happen. You can have all the hype be perfect. You can even have it be a great match. But the end result of each match is what can screw it up. Because now you're in a situation where if you don't put the right people over, there's going to be problems. There's seriously going to be problems. So that much I do want to say. All in all, how do I rate even with what little bit do I do see of WWE? And that's another question that I got, because a lot of people know that I really haven't been watching it. All in all, on a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being perfect, or 5 being great, 1 being poor, I'm gonna say it's a 2. To be honest with you, I think we're looking at something that is mediocre, and I just don't. I don't like what I see at all. I really don't. Yeah, it's great to see some of the names back there, like a Mickey James and whatnot. I think you're going to see WWE really start capitalizing again, even on TNA stars. I have a feeling they'll make another offer to James Storm eventually, and you'll see Beer Money back. You'll see Beer Money in WWE. I think eventually, too, that if they were to do the right thing, they would get the Motor City Machine Guns there, too. And I know that they're an ROH, but it would be great. But all in all, and this person asked me, do you still believe that there needs to be competition for WWE, and how soon can they do it? This will be, all in all, my final thing on wrestling. Even if you were to take all the money the best corporate people, the best agents, the best bookers, and have the best wrestling, the best ideas, and the best of talent, I don't think anything can compete with WWE at this point. If you were to take TNA, ROH, Lucha Underground, the NWA, what's left of it, and put it all together, it still couldn't even fill the shoes of what's missing for WWE, which is active competition. Competition, yeah, it would help against WWE, but when Vince McMahon is really not really doing great at building his own competition with the brand extension again, how much is competition going to be? How much competition is there? Here's an idea. If you were to take some of these shows that you do on WWE, the wrestling shows in particular, and get them a network deal outside of USA Network, all you would need to do is see if USA Network has their own competition with a cable company that is equally as popular as they are, and have Raw and SmackDown both go live, and have them be their own competition going head to head, and then make them both 2-hour shows, not 3-hour shows, 2-hour shows, and bring back a Jacked or a Velocity or a Sunday Night Heat, or Shotgun Saturday Night. You can bring them all back. Have 2 be Raw brands, 2 be SmackDown brands, and find if a CW network or an Ion Television to really have those be on, and have something that's going to be just as exciting for 2 hours, for 1 hour, and have your best of the best. Not syndication, networking, but not on the cable networks. That would be your best bet. Let your cable networks be built on Raw versus SmackDown, live, head to head. That's my suggestion. I'm not saying it's a good idea, not saying it's a great idea, I'm not even saying it would work. But what do people think about that for wrestling? That's all I'll say there with that one. So with that, I'll call it a little bit of a show here. I'm going to move on. Don't forget, I should be back up and running, hopefully by Monday, with my radio show. Hopefully my computer will be working out, and everything will be great. Thanks again, everybody.